All right, welcome back. Ready to dive back into Paolo's world with me?
Always ready for some more Paolo wisdom, honestly.
This is what, our third week now? Going deep on his Ask Paolo series over at extraverso.com.
It is, yeah. Where, he's the founder, so he really gets to
answer anything. But
yeah. No filter, straight from the source. And this week, he really got into some fascinating stuff about how different generations work together, especially for, well,
us entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Trying to,
build something that lasts.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, for anyone just joining us, we're talking about Paolo, the founder of extraverso.com. And he's got this knack for, well,
dropping truth bombs about work, leadership.
The whole shebang. Yeah.
Seriously. And this week, one thing that really hit me was his take on Gen X.
Oh, this should be good.
Right. Like he calls out our survivor mentality.
Okay, now I got to stop you there.
Oh.
Because on the surface, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in business. You got to be a survivor, right?
See, that's where Paolo gets really interesting. He's saying, sure, Gen X, we were taught to work hard, be loyal.
Play by the rules.
Exactly. It's all about climbing that ladder, putting in the hours.
And basically grinding it out.
Yeah. But, and here's the twist, Paolo says that mindset is actually holding us back now.
Oh, come on.
Seriously, it's like we're clinging to these old systems.
That might have worked once upon a time, but
they're not cutting it anymore.
Give me an example. I'm not quite.
Okay, think about those companies offering like free food, fancy offices.
Oh yeah, the ping pong tables.
All that. Paolo says it's a symptom of Gen X's ego.
Wait, what? Explain that one.
It's like we're saying, look how much we can give you, be grateful.
But, and I think I see where he's going with this.
Younger generations.
Millennials, Gen Z, they're not impressed.
They want more than just stuff, right?
It's not just about the perks themselves.
It's what they represent, that disconnect between what we value and what they want from work.
So different values, different
languages almost. Like Gen X is talking about stability, security.
Incredible stuff.
And millennials, Gen Z, they're fluent in purpose, flexibility.
Autonomy, yeah, I'm seeing it.
And that leads to Paolo's big solution. Gen Y should be mentoring Gen Z.
Whoa, hold up. Flipping the script entirely there.
Right. But think about it, millennials, they grew up in this weird in-between space.
They remember the world before smartphones.
They also get the whole digital thing that Gen Z was born into.
They're the bridge then.
Exactly, translating between two worlds. And Paolo says this is huge E for both generations. Gen Y gets to lead, shape the future.
And Gen Z gets guidance from someone who actually gets them.
Yeah, powerful stuff. So where does that leave Gen X on the sidelines?
Cheering them on, maybe?
Well, Paolo's not saying we disappear, but he is challenging us to let go. Stop clinging to those old models.
Become mentors to the mentors then.
Exactly. Equip the younger folks with what they need to succeed.
On their terms.
Yep. And who knows, maybe we'll learn a thing or two in the process.
I love that Paolo's not saying one generation's better.
It's about recognizing what ECH brings to the table.
Right. Working together for a better future.
That's what makes these Ask Paolo things so great. It's not just business advice.
It's bigger than that. Expanding our thinking, our possibilities.
Exactly. Reimagining what's possible.
So we've got this mentorship shift, Gen Y stepping up. But then there's this idea that Paolo keeps bringing up. Companies got to be more like parents.
Now that one is interesting. What does it mean by that?
Not literal parenting, obviously. But his point is, companies are filling a void.
Oh, because social structures are changing so much?
Exactly. They provide stability, guidance, even belonging now.
It's true. So many people are craving that. Makes sense they'd look to work for it.
Paolo's saying companies got to be more conscious of that role.
It's not enough to just hand out a paycheck anymore.
You got to nurture people, help them grow, find their purpose within the company.
Creating a culture where everyone feels supported.
And empowered.
Huge challenge for a lot of companies, though. Especially the ones stuck in those old ways of doing things.
Top-down leadership, all that.
But Paolo, he believes this shift is essential for companies to thrive.
Attract talent, foster innovation.
Build a legacy that goes beyond just, making money.
All right, so we've got Gen Y mentoring, companies getting all parental. What about Gen X, the folks in charge right now?
That's where Paolo lays down the challenge. And it's a tough one.
Let go of the reins.
Yep. Stop clinging to the past. Empower the next generation to lead.
Saying our legacy is in making a future where we're not the ones in charge.
Radical, right? But also kind of inspiring.
He's not saying Gen X fades away completely, though.
No, we become the guides, the mentors.
Champions for the new leaders. So it's a shift from control to empowerment.
Trusting the next generation to build on what we started, make something even better.
That is exciting to think about. Our role being to pave the way
For something more innovative, more equitable.
more fulfilling than anything we could have imagined.
Exactly. But that requires a huge mindset shift.
For individuals and for companies.
That's why I love Paolo's insights. He's not just pointing out problems.
He's offering solutions,
Yeah.
challenging us to think differently,
Inspiring us to take action.
which is what we're all about here, right?
On the deep dive, going beyond the surface,
Exploring new ideas, empowering
the
you.
listener, to make a difference. This whole companies as parents thing, it keeps coming back to me. Powerful image, but what's that actually look like, day to day?
Right, it's more than just the perks, the fun stuff. Paolo's talking about a whole culture shift.
Where employees feel truly supported. Like he gave this great example.
Oh.
Someone asked him, how do you create a workplace that's really innovative? Especially with Gen Z coming in, all tech savvy.
And entrepreneurial, right, like
Yeah.
they're used to moving fast.
Exactly. But most companies, they say they want innovation, but then it's all
Bureaucracy, risk aversion.
kills the whole vibe. And Paolo's like, it starts with trust.
Okay, but how do you build that trust?
Yeah.
Especially when, let's be honest, the bottom line.
It's always there, looming in the background.
Right.
Paolo says, give employees autonomy. Let them own their projects, experiment.
Even fail sometime.
Yeah, create that space for learning, for growth,
It's moving away from that control freak mentality.
towards empowerment. But it's not just letting people run wild either.
There's got to be some structure,
Of course, clear guidelines, expectations.
support along the way.
Like, think of it as parenting, right?
Oh, I like this analogy.
You got the micromanaging parent versus the one who creates a safe space for the kid to explore.
Find their own path.
And so many companies get stuck in that micromanaging mode. They want to control everything.
But then real innovation gets stifled,
Paolo's saying, let go a little, trust your people to do what they're good at.
which, I get it, can be scary for some folks in charge.
Absolutely. But the payoff, it's huge EE. You tap into that creativity, that passion,
People feel ownership.
purpose. And that leads to better results all around.
It's like unleashing that entrepreneurial spirit.
Not just for the founders, but for everyone in the company.
I dig it.
And Paolo, he keeps hammering on this. The future of work, is about collaboration.
Innovation, adaptability,
Requires a whole new way of thinking about leadership.
about the very nature of work itself. So we've got this mentorship thing going on, companies getting more parental, but what about entrepreneurs specifically? What's Paolo saying about the challenges they face?
Oh, he gets into some good stuff there. One big one is purpose.
Oh, finding your why, right? Making sure your business isn't just
About the money.
easy to lose sight of that in the early days when you're just hustling to survive.
And Paolo's advice is classic. Start with WHY. What problem are you solving?
What impact do you want to make?
Define your mission and build everything around that.
Makes sense, but tough to put into practice sometimes.
For sure. But it resonates so deeply, I think a lot of us are looking for work that feels meaningful.
Where we can contribute, make a difference.
Paolo sees entrepreneurship as like a vehicle for that, creating something new,
Challenging the status quo.
leaving the world a little better than you found it.
It's not just some fluffy ideal either. His own story proves it's possible.
He walks the walk and inspires others to do the same.
That's what I love about these Ask Paolo things. It's not just business advice.
It's about building a whole life that's aligned with your values,
Thinking bigger, being bolder.
believing you can make a difference.
If you're feeling lost, questioning things, go check out Paolo's stuff on extraverso.com. Seriously.
He's a goldmine of insights, practical advice, and he's got this way of making you feel like anything is possible.
Which, let's be real, we all need a little bit of that sometimes.
For sure.
And that's what the deep dive is all about, right? Exploring ideas, pushing boundaries.
Empowering you to create a life that truly lights you up.
So we've talked about these big shifts, with mentoring and companies changing, but Paolo also talks about this whole rise of freelancing
The gig economy.
and how it all ties in. People wanting more autonomy, purpose,
Flexibility, being their own boss.
right? And he has a lot to say about Gen Z coming into this world.
Oh, they're shaking things up, for sure.
There was this question someone asked Paolo, like, how do young freelancers even figure out their skills, their value?
Their career path,
Yeah.
basically, when it's all so new and constantly changing.
And Paolo's answer was, don't wait.
I love that. He's like, jump in, figure it out, ASU go.
Gen Z's got this unique advantage, he says.
Digital natives, comfortable with tech.
Resourceful, They grew up with the internet, so it's not this scary unknown.
They're not afraid to experiment, put themselves out there.
And learning is so accessible now. Online courses, communities.
Anything you want to know, it's out there.
So it's not about having that perfect 5-year plan anymore.
Paolo's like, build your skills and do your portfolio at the same time.
Learn by doing, basically.
Exactly. And it's not just the hard skills either. Tech stuff, coding, whatever.
He talks a lot about soft skills, too.
Oh, those are crucial.
Yeah.
Communication, negotiation, being able to manage your time.
Essential for any freelancer who wants to actually build a business, not just a side hustle.
Right. And Paolo thinks Gen Z might actually have an edge here, too.
Oh, how so?
They're used to collaborating online, managing multiple projects, deadlines.
Like they've been training for this their whole lives.
Kinda, yeah. But he also stresses mentorship. Find people who can guide you.
Because freelancing, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Definitely not. It's competitive, can be lonely. You gotta be really self-motivated.
Having a mentor, someone who's been through it.
Can make all the difference. Someone to bounce ideas off of, get advice from.
So to sum it up for any aspiring Gen Z freelancers out there,
Embrace the learning curve. Build your network, find mentors, and jump in.
don't wait for the perfect moment.
And Paolo says, don't underestimate yourselves. Gen Z has so much to offer.
Unique perspectives, fresh ideas.
Freelancing can be a way to unleash that potential, make a real impact.
It's not just about earning a living, it's about aligning your work with your values.
Using your talents to make a difference, which honestly, I think that resonates with everyone.
No matter what generation you're from or what kind of work you do.
We all want to feel like what we're doing matters, like we're contributing to something bigger.
And Paolo, he gets that. That's what makes his work so inspiring. He's not just talking about business, he's talking about living a life of purpose.
Challenging us to think differently about work, about leadership, about the world we want to create.
That's what makes these deep dives into his Ask Paolo series so great. It's more than just advice, it's a conversation starter.
So if you haven't already, head over to extraverso.com, check it out. You won't regret it.
And that's a wrap on this week's deep dive into Paolo's world.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back next week with another episode of The Deep Dive. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making a difference.